It is every young man's goal to become an aspiring rapper. The money, the cars, the ice, the bitches, going on tour and rocking out shows. And there are a few associated brands, companies, news outlets, etc. that have kind of worked alongside the rap genre over the years. One of those being at the major forefront is XXL. Now, XXL has kind of been in the shitter for the past couple years. The artists that have been included haven't been bad per se, but it's just the quality of the shit they've been doing seems to have gone downhill over the years. They've cucked artists that deserve to be on the list for artists that had mainstream appeal. A lot of the artists that they pick just fucking fall off. We had, what's her face, Scarlip one point. That shit was insane. Why did we let that happen? But I think people saw the 2016 and 2017 XXL list and they started thinking too highly of it. Now, they were respectable, but like, come on, man. We're talking about the same company that put Hobson on a cypher with a bunch of other people. Enough yapping about it unnecessarily. I think XXL might have actually saved themselves with this new lineup. I'll start with the producer being Cardo Got Wings. You may have heard him, you may not have, but I think he's a pretty good producer, especially when you see the artist coming up and you hear some of the beats he's made. I'm looking through my phone on this because there's no way in hell I was going to remember all fucking 12 of them off the top of my head. But we have Vaughn, Baby Chief Do It, Triplin, an ad for Manscaped, 1900 Rugrat, Samara Sin, Ian, Jello, Low Shimmy or LOE Shimmy. I don't remember which one's the correct way to pronounce it. Laserdim 700, another ad for Manscaped, YTB Fat, Nino Paid, and the 10th spot winner, EBK Jabo. Now, if I'm reading this one correctly, I don't see why it's important that EBK Jabo won the 10th spot if there's fucking 12 freshmen. This list also has the fewest chains per freshman ratio that I've seen ever. But this list is very respectable, minus Vaughn. I don't know who the fuck Vaughn is. I don't think anybody knows who Vaughn is, but he's there. Hopefully he performs. But this is a very respectable list, and a lot of people are kind of turning eyes back onto XXL. For the past couple years, people have been looking away. But with a lineup this respectable, it turns heads again because these are artists that are popular now. What isn't respectable, however, is these goofy fucking solo shots that they all had to take. Look at this shit. You're telling me Triplin is a grass type? Either that or that's like one of those like cartoon stank clouds. But like they've got them doing these weird fucking... Can you imagine being the photographer that was like trying to get these people to pose for these pictures? Oh, that's perfect. All right, Mr. Nino Paid. What you're gonna kind of want to do for this next one is you're gonna want to take your leg. You just kind of want to fucking get it back there. I also saw, because fucking Ian made fun of it on Instagram, but Nino Paid is in that fucking cover hitting it with a little... on some Ben 10 shit. I thought that was funny. But I might make another video when the ciphers drop, and I'm pretty excited for them. I will say, though, getting into the kind of negatives of this list is, yeah, I understand you can only fit so many fucking people on the cover of a magazine, but feels like it kind of snubs some people. Even people on the list. I think Triplin, and a lot of people agree with this, Triplin has been popping for a solid fucking minute. I sounded so white saying that shit. Triplin has been a popular rapper and producer, there we go, for a very long time. Very talented individual. And it's kind of weird that he's just now on the XXL list. I think maybe part of it could be because of his newest album dropping, but once again, he has been around for a good little bit. It seems kind of weird to put him on now, but very talented artist nonetheless. Then that gets us into, well, where are the artists that everyone else is asking for? Two artists I'm really surprised aren't on there are, I think his name is pronounced Lilo or Lalo. He's been around and he's had a pretty decent successful hit on TikTok. Not many people have heard of him, but I'm very surprised he wasn't an XXL freshman, because even I'm not an avid fan, but it would make sense. If you listen to his music and you see the numbers he's doing, it would make sense. Another artist I sat there and wondered, and I think other people did too, I've seen people comment it, is where is Benji Bluebills? Benji Bluebills made fucking tremendous strides late 23 and most of 24 had a huge song with the Song Wars, A-Rage, just dropped a collab album with thnx, and a lot of people are writing him off as he is a newer artist. But here's the thing. He blew up before some of the people that are on this list currently. Not that that's a bad thing. There are artists that blew up on that list at the same time, if not later than Benji, and ended up on the list, but Benji didn't. And I think maybe that's due to the fact that he was on the underground sound thing, or maybe he's going to be kind of cut until next year and be on there. But then it makes you wonder, who's going to be on there next year? You know, you've got people throwing around names. Where's Che? Where's Osama-san? Where's Netspend? Where's Xavier So Based? Where's Molly Santana? Where's Georgiana? I think when it comes to a lot of those artists, depending from artist to artist, the artists I see doing XXL the most would be like Georgiana, Xavier So Based, and maybe Che. But I would not doubt if artists like Net or Osama-san were originally offered and declined because it doesn't align with what they're doing. And a lot of rappers being on XXL nowadays is kind of seen as corny by your fan base. But with this lineup this year, that might change. And who knows, maybe Netspend, Osama-san, Che, that group of people, maybe they'll be on XXL next year once they have more success or see more numbers. And speaking of rejections, Blackboy Max also rejected doing XXL. But he did say it was like an honor to be nominated, so like it's not the end of the world. But people were asking that question all over Twitter as if it hadn't already been covered. But probably for the same reasons where it's like, XXL maybe doesn't necessarily align with what the rapper wants to do and wants to tie their image to. Not because XXL is the worst thing, but A, it has been in the shitter the past couple of years, and B, it is kind of, corny. Maybe it doesn't line up with what you're doing. Maybe it would mess up with a rollout you have planned or something like that. It would have been awesome to see him on there, because a lot of the artists on here, unlike previous years, at least to my knowledge, were already collaborating before this list came out, which is a good thing. But I'm starting to think with artists like that, it may either be a next year thing for them, or they may just decline it because it may not be in line with what they're doing. I even saw a comment of like, where's Wi-Fi Skeleton? I hate to break it to you, and I mean this in the kindest way possible. He passed away. Like, that was a real thing that happened. Also, he doesn't even make music for XXL. Tagging on, making it happen, up, flipping the packing up, and then past tense. I'm not trying to ruin your fun. What the fuck? It just wouldn't work out anyways. And a similar situation to, I think people were like, damn, it's a shame Jades got arrested because he could have been on there. That is also truthful. I wish Jades didn't get arrested. I wish he wasn't fucking addicted to drugs and didn't... Because Jades had so much potential, man, and it sucks. But it makes you wonder what other artists may be on there next year. Artists like Pretty Fun or Ecstasy. Another artist I'm surprised kind of didn't make the cut was Lil Tony, and I think that's for a couple reasons. I think one, although he does good numbers and he makes great music, and he has collaborated with a few of the artists that are on this list currently, with Overcame with Nino Pade being like one of my favorite songs, if not my favorite song to drop so far this year. I just don't think he's had that like breakout hit yet. When you do the XXL class, most of those artists have like that breakout hit. That one really popular song that kind of propelled them into stardom, and that's not a bad thing at all, don't get me wrong. But without that kind of breakout hit, it's kind of hard for a group to pick you up and be like, this is something that might be the future. With Rugrat, it was the One Take freestyle. With Nino Pade, you could argue it was either Paint at My Funeral or Play This at My Funeral, Tree on the Hill, if you want to talk recently. But he hasn't had huge songs, but he's definitely had songs that are like breakout hits for him. With Ian, it was Magic Johnson. With Laser Dim, it was songs like Asian Rock, Laced Max, things of that nature. Breakout songs. I don't think Lil Tony has had that. I also would not doubt if he rejected the list, as it kind of seems, even though he does post a good bit, that he keeps a more low profile, and it just doesn't align with the kind of vibe he's going for, or the path that he wants to take his music career on. But it'd be cool to see him on there maybe next year if he just didn't make the cut this year, because I do think he's very deserving of that ranking. But anyways, and there's not really much to go off of here. I think literally all that's posted as of the time that I'm recording this is the XXL freshman reading mean tweets, and there's not much to go off of yet, but I will probably react to and post or talk about the ciphers when they come out, the freestyles, what's next for these artists. But I will say, I fucked up again! I will say, I have a lot of faith in these artists continuing on. I think they all have the ability to make a great career future forward. Even though a couple of them have already established a pretty good career so far, I think that there is a chance for them to take what they have now and run with it. And I think that's what XXL has been missing, is especially with last year, not that any of those artists were bad artists minus fucking Scarlip or whatever the hell her name is. Um they weren't bad artists. They were just definitely so far propelled into mainstream, and it felt like XXL was listening to pop radio again, where it's like it's just what's trending on TikTok. Don't get me wrong, most of the artists on here have a song that's trending on TikTok, but I think that they go beyond TikTok artists. They're artists that communicate with each other, work with each other, have like an actual online presence outside of Beats out from Texas and that like thing. Now, Big X the Plug has an online presence. That Mexican OT does. But a lot of those artists, especially last year, were like TikTok mainstream artists. That's not that I say that they're bad, but it definitely seemed like they were just trying to do a quick, like, don't you love these guys? Come on. And make a quick publishing of it. It didn't feel authentic. This feels like you have authentic artists this year, and I'm very excited to see what comes next. That being said, enough yapping from your boy, but let me know what you think about the list. Artists you think may have snubbed the cut, artists that would have been better on it, artists that shouldn't be on the list currently. What are your thoughts about this list? If you enjoyed the video, feel free to like and subscribe. It's completely free to do, and if you enjoyed the video, someone else might as well. Be sure to follow me on my other social medias, and if you guys could do your boy a huge solid and DM or tweet at the official Tampax tampon account. I'm trying to get a sponsorship from Tampax, the tampon company. So if you could spot your boy, make me look good for them, I would appreciate it. But with that being said, be good people, and peace.